Good evening, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Time for Change call for Wednesday, July 10, 2024, after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. The quantum financial system, QFS. And what is this going to do for the civilization? For all of us, okay? What, for us, not for a small group of parasitical creatures, beings. It's going to end the corrupt central banking. Okay? It will cover the new global network for the transfer of asset-backed funds. It replaces the U.S. centrally controlled SWIFT system. Purpose of QFS International Monetary System is to put an end to corruption, usury, manipulation within the banking system. Banks no longer are able to gain significant profits. Period. So it's completely independent from the existing centralized system. Makes all other transfer systems obsolete. All right, now I'm emphasizing all caps, all uppercase, underlined, not cryptocurrency. QFS reigns supreme in the technology it applies, 100% financial security and transparency of all currency holders. It assigns a digital number to every fiat dollar, euro, yen, in every bank account all over the world. Digital numbers are monitored in real time, where it went, when it was ledgered, who sent it, and what account received it. See, the bankers for years were able to, globally, okay, they were able to take monies, weren't theirs. Of course, they think of theirs because they're in the bank account. And like if you were transferring money, let's say $50,000, you're transferring it somewhere. And during the time it took for that money to transfer to its destination, they made tons of money off of it. This goes on all the time. They can't do any of that anymore. I mean, it's really, really, really good. Sovereign currency of the United States. Okay? Sovereign currency. Asset collection chain. Platform of asset digitization created for the purpose of global digital asset circulation. Okay, we go asset, token, sovereign currency. Electronic methodology to move funds. All banking data has been decentralized. That's huge. What does that mean? It means that they cannot mess with the movement of money. The only reference to a bank, okay, you're going to hear about, referencing a bank is source of origin for the account. That's it. Blockchain technology is building as asset sharing, distributed ledger between different nodes, institutions, industries, etc. After digitization, tokenization, and symbolization of material assets, all assets can be mapped and segmented. ACC is a distributed general ledger. It is it's a tool of asset digitization for global applications, exchange basically, between mainstream tokens and the market with asset standard token, asset collection chain, that jointly forms the digital asset interchange object, SDR. Most of this is just, pretty much financial jargon. SDR, digital currency. Each global node establishes a regional general ledger token, GLT, to regional circulation. And thus the digital currency, SDR, will be the main exchange coin along with tokens of each international node's general ledger taken in the international exchange. Remember, we're not talking about digital coins, period. We're not talking about cryptocurrency. In this ecosystem, each node's taken can use GLT to realize regional circulation, and each GLT can use ACC to realize international circulation. Remember, ACC, Asset Collection Chain, okay. GLT is Digital General Ledger. Distributed Ledger Technology, GLT. A database that is decentralized across several computers or nodes. Every node will maintain the ledger. If data changes happen, the ledger is updated. Updates are independent of each node. All nodes have equal status. All nodes have equal status and authority. There is no central authority or server managing the database. Each node can update the ledger, and other nodes verify its existence. Transparency, no corruption. Nodes verify the transaction with the consensus algorithm. Sometimes all nodes can participate, and sometimes only selected nodes. Once all nodes get a go, all nodes receive updated status. Blockchain is just a type of distributed ledger. All right? DLT, distributed ledger. DLT is the parent of blockchain, and blockchain, every node gets its very own copy of the ledger. All transactions are encrypted before being added to the ledger. Blockchain does not require a central authority. It is decentralized completely as DLT. Blockchain organizes data in terms of blocks that are linked and encrypted for security. All data transactions exist in history and cannot be altered or deleted. Blockchain structure is blocks of data. Distributed ledger technology, database, spread across different nodes. No specific sequence. Sequence is the distinguishing difference in blockchain. Blockchain is merely a subset of distributed ledgers. Blockchain tokens, DLT, to the next level, instantiation of digital values and interoperability. Distributed ledger technology is the parent to blockchain technology. DLT, distributed ledger technology, is the means to eliminate the bank oversight. In other words, the bankers have no more power, no more messing around, no more stealing money, no more doing all the crap they've done to this civilization for decades. Distributed ledger technology is the parent of blockchain. DLT is the means to eliminate the bank oversight. Distributed ledger technology, transparency, and speed of transaction. No, all caps underlined, no data can be compromised. Blockchain is different from DLT in terms of architecture, but similar in terms of concept. DLT solves the issues in the financial world. Blockchain is part of the cryptocurrency world. People are going to want to know, okay, how to manage new funds. Asset-backed, because all funds, by the way, are going to end up being asset-backed. All funds in the QFS. How do I use the funds? People want to know how you can use the funds. All bank screens are now dark. In the new system, you will receive an e-notification that your expected asset-backed funds are prepared to ledger to the specific account you have annotated previously. You will follow the prompts asking for your old access code or password. Once entered, you will be prompted to create a new security ID. Once that occurs, your old bank account will be debited of fiat funds, then credited with asset-backed funds one-to-one. In other words, a lot of people have been worried about the fact that the FRNs are dead. Okay, they're still operating in this country and a couple other countries, but pretty much globally, it's walking dead. And they want to know if they're going to lose any money. You know, am I going to be just left out in the cold because I've got FRNs in the bank account? No, you're not. No one is. Okay? You'll be like once entered, you will be prompted to create a new security ID. Once that occurs, your old bank account will be debited of fiat funds and then credited with asset-backed funds one-to-one. You will be prompted to the next window, at which point your existing funds show as asset-backed as well as the ledger balance of asset-backed funds you anticipated. There is no co-mingling, no mixing up. The system is totally secure, and your accounts are totally under your control. A return to sovereignty. You must initiate the ledger. An electronic transaction occurs from sender account to recipient account. No other person can access the accounts. And when I say no, it's bold-faced, uppercase, underlined. No other being can access the account. Banks are then now obsolete. Understand what that means. It means that all the banks are going to be obsolete very shortly. You have the sovereignty of your funds. Since all are electronic and digital, all funds are trackable forever. Banks are no longer in control. There are no more deposits. They are now posits. P-O-S-I-T-S. As deposit means separation from the person and their funds. In the new earth, the person has no footprint in the QFS. Security in the truest sense. So there's no trail to follow. You want to understand that a long time on this planet, and then we'll get back to this, a long time on this planet, we had total criminal activity, total, absolute raping, robbing, and pillaging the people at will. At will. And we had to come up. You had to come up with something that undermined the banking system once and for all and destroyed it. Right? Understand, this has nothing to do with the banking system that we all use. Nothing at all. Period. Now, I want to give you what this means for you and I and everybody else on the planet. All right, number one, QFS ends corrupt central banking. The QFS will cover the new global network for the transfer of asset-backed funds, replaces the U.S. centrally controlled SWIFT system, runs on quantum computer based on orbiting satellites protected by the secret space programs. In other words, Space Force. Purpose of QFS, International Monetary System, is to put an end to corruption, usury, and manipulation within the banking systems. Banks no longer able to gain significant profits. QFS, completely independent from the existing centralized system, makes all other transfer systems obsolete. Not cryptocurrency. Okay, this is not about cryptocurrency. After revaluation of all sovereign currencies, will be asset-backed during stable value, which makes the need for unbacked cryptos outdated. Simply digests on computer memory banks. QFS activation ends the central banking system that perpetuates debt slavery. QFS activation ends the central banking system that perpetuates debt slavery. QFS reigns supreme in the technology it applies. 100% financial security and transparency of all currency holders. QFS reigns supreme in the technology it applies. 100% financial security and transparency of all currency holders. Assigns a digital number to every fiat dollar, euro, yen, and every bank account all over the world. Digital numbers are monitored in real time where it went, when it was ledgered, who sent it, what account received it. QFS is alive with quantum, benevolent intelligence that interacts with every financial transaction anywhere in the world of finance to ensure that it is legal, owner-intended, and transparent. Only gold, and I emphasize all uppercase, underline, only gold or asset-backed currencies that have a digital gold or asset certificate is transferred through the QFS. All gold and asset-backed currency references back to the piece of gold or asset backing it. Asset-backed currency is based on assets within the country of origin. Assets are the justification to establish the amount of currency available in each country. No fiat currency is legal in QFS, as there cannot be designated, they cannot be designated as clean, clear, non-terroristic, or originating from legal activities. Okay? Fiat currencies in possession at time of implementation of QFS and deemed legal will be exchanged for gold-backed currency on a one-to-one basis. Reconciliation process. without the ability to reconcile old fiat money into the new QFS, all central banks' activities will cease. Any country not JASERA compliant will be left out of the QFS, thus eventually being left out of the international trade, the level playing field of global trace. Global currency reset will use a specific quantitative formula to establish the amount of currency available in a country that is gold-backed in QFS. The formula will establish a fair value of each country's assets as compared to another. Price of gold becomes irrelevant once this is complete. Included in the formula are in-ground assets, economy of the country, its population as asset, and several other parameters. This formula is applied to each country so they can be on par with one another. The application of the formula and the common value of all gold means that one country's currency must have the same value as another country's currency. Global currency reset. This is what I've talked about over the past few years. You see, on this planet, no one has been equal. No country. You've got little countries, big countries, medium-sized countries, and little smidgen countries. But they don't have an equal playing field. They never did. So a lot of them, kind of miss out and are stuck in the back, bullied. And what this does, across the board, levels the playing field. Everybody's currency is the same value. Okay? Now, during the interim period, obviously, all of you know that those of you who are in the revaluation, you are carrying foreign currency. That foreign currency you will exchange that foreign currency for a certain value. Okay? Rate, whatever you want to call it. In that window of time through the adjustment period, you're obviously going to do very well for yourself on this transition. We have to have a global currency reset. Okay? We have to establish a level playing field for all countries participating in this new system. And the ones that don't are screwed. They're not going to be able to do any commerce, any business anywhere on the planet. They are absolutely screwed. If they have fiat currency, they're really dead in the water because it ain't going to work for them. So any of the holdouts, which aren't many, they maybe think it's a bluff or whatever. Watch what happens when it engages. They'll be right there front and center. And when you can, you understand, and I'm going to go over this one more time so that just these FAQs, answers, like on the frequently asked questions on quantum financial system. Question, can I still cash a check at my bank? Answer, because funds are digitized, you must electronically enter the funds into your account and then access via ATM, debit card, or mobile account management apps. Question, how does the QFS affect credit or debit cards? The answer, there is no change in usage or function of the card. How do I execute a wire transfer? Understanding the SWIFT system is no longer operable, you will use the ledger-to-ledger transfer system within the QFS. Are other banking services affected by QFS? There are no banks. You are accountable for your funds and financial transactions. Are we moving to a cashless society? Yes, yes, yes. Because you remember, guys, we're not going to be, the financial end of this whole thing is not going to be around much longer. All of this is going to be gone too, by the way. But this is the, let's just put it this way, the best structure that many generations and off-world associations have come up with. Period. So, but I wanted to go over one more time, because I know some people come on here and they say, I didn't get that, or I didn't hear this, or... Okay. 1, QFS ends corrupt central banking. 2, the QFS will cover the new global network for the transfer of asset-backed funds, replaces the U.S. centrally controlled SWIFT system. That thing was so corrupt, the SWIFT system, holy moly. 3, runs on quantum computer based on orbiting satellites protected by secret space programs. Space Force, there really isn't any secret space programs anymore. But I guess you could call them secret because most people don't know about them. 4, purpose of QFS, International Monetary System, is to put an end to corruption, usury, and manipulation within the banking system. Banks no longer are able to gain significant profits, which means what will happen to the banks? Bye-bye. 5, QFS, completely independent from the existing centralized system, makes all other transfer systems obsolete. 6, not cryptocurrency. After reval, all sovereign currencies will be asset-backed, ensuring stable value, which makes the need for unbacked cryptos outdated. Simply digest on computer memory banks. Simply digests on computer memory banks. You know, I said this a long time ago that cryptos were designed and put together in 1995 by the bad guys. Seven, QFS activation ends the central banking system that perpetuates debt slavery. And as I've said in this call, debt is gone. It's going to be eliminated, vaporized. 8, QFS reigns supreme in the technology it applies and 100% financial security and transparency of all currency holders. 9, assigns a digital number to every fiat dollar, okay, and euro and yen in every bank account all over the world. Digital numbers are monitored in real time where it went, when it was ledgered, who sent it, and what account received it. 10, QFS is alive with quantum. This is important for people to comprehend. QFS is alive with quantum benevolent intelligence that interacts with every financial transaction anywhere in this world of finance to ensure that it is legal, owner-intended, and transparent. 11, only gold or asset-backed currencies that have a digital gold or asset certificate is transferred through the QFS. All gold and asset-backed currency references back to the piece of gold or asset backing it. In other words, it goes right back to that gold brick or that gold coin or that silver coin. It goes right back to the actual material. Asset-backed currency is based on assets within the country of origin. Assets are the justification to establish the amount of currency available in each country. Believe you me, enough gold and silver have been allocated to each country, they're good to go, even if they didn't have any. No fiat currency is legal in QFS, as it cannot be designated as clean, clear, non-terroristic, or originating from legal activities. 14. Fiat currencies in possession. So in other words, if you're holding fiat currency, Federal Reserve note, at time of implementation of QFS and deemed legal, in other words, not counterfeit, will be exchanged for gold-backed currency on a one-to-one basis, reconciliation process. 15, without the ability to reconcile old fiat money into the new QFS, all central banks' activities will cease. 16, any country not GESERA compliant will be left out of the QFS, thus eventually being left out of international trade. The level playing field of global trace. 17, global currency reset will use a specific quantitative formula to establish the amount of currency available in a country that is gold-backed in QFS. The formula will establish a fair value of each country's assets as compared to another. Price of gold becomes irrelevant once this is complete. Included in the formula are in-ground assets, economy of the country, its population as asset, and several other parameters. Formula is applied to each country so they can be on par with one another. Across the board, they're all going to be even and equal. 18, the application of the formula and the common value of all gold means that a country's currency must have the same value as another country's currency. Global currency reset. So that really kind of covers it. It's pretty succinct and clear. There's no need to go into the super technicals of it, the root bases of it and everything, but that's the new financial system.